So this is going to be a quick slide here because I'm going to talk about some things we can do, but then I'm going to go back into the document camera to show you how to do them. So rules for calculating probabilities. Sometimes it's helpful to know what the probability is of something that's not as directly observable as what we just did before. So if you're talking about an event with one outcome, so your event might be drawing a superhero out of the basket, and your outcome will be, whichever superhero you get. You might be interested in finding out the probability of something not occurring. So in our example that we have here, we might want to find the probability of, say, not picking Iron Man out of our superhero basket. And we're going to find this using something called the converse rule. You might be also interested in the probability of obtaining one outcome or another outcome out of your single event. So as an example here with our superhero basket, we might be interested in the probability of obtaining Iron Man or Captain America when we draw one superhero out of the basket. You can also find probabilities when you have two or more events with two or more outcomes. So what this means would be if I were to draw one superhero out of the basket, put it back, and then draw another superhero out of the basket. I'd have two draws, so that's two events, and I'd have two outcomes. I'd have whichever superhero I got the first time and whichever superhero I got the last time. And we're going to find that using something called the multiplication rule. So that's the probability of obtaining one outcome and then obtaining another outcome. And in order to use this multiplication rule without any additional things going on, because we're not going to go into that in this class, the outcomes have to be independent. What this means is that the outcome of your first draw can't affect the outcome of your second draw. And so this is why I said specifically you'd have to put your superhero back in the basket, because you want to start from the same place for both of them and have the same probabilities each time. If you were to take one superhero out of the basket and just leave it out, then you've changed the number of superheroes in the basket, so the probabilities for everything change. So we're only going to focus on the multiplication rule as it applies to outcomes that are independent of each other, where the first outcome does not affect the second outcome. So with that, we're going to hop back into the document camera and talk about how to actually calculate these.